Alright, so there's this people that persuade everyone. They just convince them of doing everything they want, or even you, and you actually want to learn how to do it. Well, this book is for you. Influence by Robert Cialdini, whatever. This guy's an awesome psychologist who's written The Psychology Persuasion. The Bible of Persuasion, we might say. I actually stumbled upon this book because the original CEO of Instagram recommended it. Eric, I believe. I don't remember. Well, anyway, a lot of guys, especially in the tech industry, love persuasion. As we know, Amazon, for example, uses a lot of the principles that are detailed in this book. Scarcity, I can't even remember the other ones, but whatever. This book is for you in case you need to be a better negotiator, persuader, whatever. In life, interacting with other people is basically being persuasive, right? We want to convince people that what we're saying has meaning or weight and should be listened to, not basically out of force, but out of merit, maybe. So this is why this book is truly, truly powerful. Not only to persuade people, but actually not only to persuade people, but defend ourselves from all these evil corporations using the principles against us. And why do these principles work? Basically, our brain has developed these heuristics or shortcuts in order to deal with reality. Reality is extremely complex. There's a lot of stimuli going around all the time. Our brain can process them all, and that is why we need these little shortcuts to save mental energy. The problem is that some people know how to use these shortcuts against us to get instant reactions from ourselves that will only benefit the other party. That's why it's really important, and this book does a great job detailing some of the principles that we've seen. Obviously, there can be more, I believe so, but Quialdini gives us 7 to begin with. Reciprocation, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. Were those 6 or 7? I can't even remember. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 6 principles and an extra one that you'll see at the end. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to use a persuasion principle right here. No. I will only tell you about the 6 basic principles in order to get you to read this book because I believe it's awesome so we can make a better society. Whatever. First of all, reciprocation. We humans are beasts, animals of commitment. Why? Because that's basically trust. We have developed these mechanisms of trust in order to coexist with one another and trade or cooperate with each other. That's why when we do something for someone, we expect that other party to pay us back at some point. And that has been coded into our culture. Basically, every culture that we've seen around the globe. I don't want to say it's universal, but I do believe it is. I have to double check on that. Whatever. So that can be extremely powerful, especially when someone knows this principle. This can be extremely powerful because when someone knows about this principle, they can use it against you. They'll do you a small favor and then ask for a extremely humongous one return, such as some societies that have taken advantage over this, as the Hare Krishna Society. They basically gave presents, flowers, books, whatever, to people at airports or public places and then expected a donation, which wouldn't be a donation anymore, but whatever, they expected a donation in return. And they knew the power of this because people didn't like the gifts, they threw them away, threw them in the trash, and then these Hare Krishna members would go to the trash can and recycle everything that they knew people didn't want and then gave it to other people. Whatever. That's the power of reciprocation. So know this. When someone does you a favor or you do a favor, be extremely careful because you're going to be indebted or they're going to be indebted somehow. So it's amazing. In this sense, we can do things and go first and help people with a kind of sense of trust that we're going to be paid back. That sounds kind of selfish when you say it, but whatever, it's strong. That's why maybe people that give a lot in the end get rewarded. Not because out of it, I don't know, I'm kind of confused on this one because sometimes just doing good out of the sake of good act is like, so who knows? That's a discussion for another time. The second principle, commitment Consistency. What is this? Have you felt the power of commitment, like at any point of your life when you're like, yes, I will attend that party, I promise you. And then you don't even want to go, dying in your bed, being lazy as hell, but you have committed and now you have to go. The power of commitments is extremely powerful. The power of commitment is extremely powerful. This is my first English video, so I'm just carbureting right now. Once you have committed to something, the psychological pull will be humongous on you. And I know there's people that say, no, those principles never apply to me. I am a special snowflake and I am psychologically invincible. I don't think so. At least not for me. So I will be very careful with my commitments and what I say yes to. Why is that? As we go back to the reciprocation principles, humans have developed this trust creed or contract that helps us cooperate. So this has been psychologically coded into us, and once you commit to something, the pull will be strong. And even if you don't act on it, it will be pulling on you subconsciously. So be careful. And then of course, consistency. We like to see people that are consistent. Even if they're crazy consistent, you know, they do abnormally strange things for us, but in a consistent manner, we'll just find them sane. But imagine a guy acts one way one week and then acts a completely different way the other week. That's going to be totally strange for us, and we deem those guys crazy, and we don't have to. We like certainty. We like to know what's going to happen. We like happy endings. We like closed loops. That is why we will try to be consistent interactions in order to not be seen. So be careful when guys try to, I don't know, trap you in questions, yes questions, you know, those salesmen that ask you tens of thousands of questions and then you've got the yes chain and at the end they just try to sell you something. Be careful with that. Quialdini tells us about a really funny story where a really hot girl, saleswoman, whatever, comes to his house and asks him a bunch of questions about day-to-day activities, which obviously Quialdini, trying to impress this girl, exaggerates a little bit. At the end, the girl asks her, well, seeing that you love all these activities, how would you like a pass that will help you save 20% whatever on all the activities that you have just said that you like? Well, Quialdini was trapped. Would he have had to say? He had exaggerated, but saying no in that moment would have been just contradicting everything he had just said, which would have made him seem inconsistent, which we don't like. So be careful with that. Then we have social proof. Do I really need to talk about this? Let's be honest, guys. We have social proof all over, starting with social media. I am guilty of this. How many likes does my photo have? How many subs does my YouTube channel have? How many reviews does this Amazon product have? This is a heuristic that we have developed. If a lot of people, a lot of human beings have been through this path, through this experience and liked it, well, obviously, not always. Why? Because people can buy opinions, reviews, or just have like a bunch of people that agree with that, maybe won't. You can devise your own way of thinking and maybe not like it as much, but whatever. We humans love it. Love it. And this has been proved a lot of times. When we see a lot of guys in a room act a certain way and we don't really know what the ethics code is, we would try to copy those around us, which is extremely curious. In many cases, explained in the book, it's got a lot of examples where under uncertainty clauses or events that we don't truly know how to navigate, we will simply try to look at our environment. And if we see people like us, which will lead me to the next principle, we will copy them and try to act the correct way. So be careful with that. When other people try to manipulate that social proof by reviews, fake things on the internet seemingly being true, we can defend against it. And the awesome thing about this book as well is that every principle comes with a detailed explanation of how it affects us. A contradiction, like, not a contradiction, but how we can defend against it and still take advantage of it. Because obviously everything that our mind develops is designed to help us in some way, but every strength comes with its own weakness. So we just need to be able to polish those defenses against those weaknesses. Then we have the liking principle. The liking principle. We just love to be persuaded by people that we like. Going back to the hot girl example, well, obviously obviously Quialdini was way more susceptible to her charms because she was good looking. And that happens to us. It's being demonstrated within the halo effect that psychologists call, where we see a trait that we like in someone, we will magnify that trait and everything will look better than it actually is or would seem. So be careful with that, guys, because we will always tend to be persuaded by those we like. Polite people, charming people, good looking people. It's been a fact. Good looking people tend to be way more persuasive than others that we would deem not so good looking. So that's something to have in mind. Are you really looking at your objective, your purpose? I mean, if you're buying a car from a really good looking man, what does that matter? The guy might be charming, funny as hell. You might even want to get drinks with him. You're gonna be driving a car that has nothing to do with him. Does this car really matter to you? Or are you just being deluded by this illusion of beauty and charm? Is that it? I don't know. Just be careful with that. Then that leads me to the next Quialdini principle, which is that of authority. Authority! And we talk about it every single day, everywhere around us. Become an authority in your field. Why? Because trusted people, that means experts, scientists, whatever, recognized people that know what they're talking about. Amazing! We should always take advice from them and filter it through our own thoughts. Problem is, how many times do we see supposedly authorities giving advice which aren't really authorities? I mean, I'm an actor myself, and I love playing other things that I might not really know that well. Of course, I try to become better at it. When someone who isn't really an expert on the matter gives you advice, you should be careful and ask the question, is this guy an authority? I don't know. Many commercials employ actors, myself, or other people to advertise a product. And I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, it's wrong if they claim like, this guy is a super expert and he really isn't. But we sometimes make the connection with social proof or people that we like as being amazing, or deeming the connection as being more powerful to the product. I don't know if I'm being clear on this. I'm trying my best here, but this is why when we see amazing celebrities recommending product, it might be powerful or not, depending on the environment. But we tend to listen to those authorities or people who seem to know what they're talking about. Just really ask, is this guy truly an expert, scientist, and know-it-all in this field? And well, I believe that's all there is to say. Quialdini might say, wait. And the final rule, that of scarcity, my friend. Scarcity, the scarcity principle. This is amazing. And I believe most of us know it. Scarcity creates value. That which we truly can get much of skyrockets. Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously it does. Everything. That's why hard things might be way more expensive. Things that need a lot of work or dedication or whatever, That's why diamonds, if they're rare, skyrocket their price. Why people who've got crazy skills that not a lot of people can do get paid a lot more because they're scarce. And that scarcity, well, gets rewarded. In other sense, products that are scarce, we tend to want them more, including Amazon sales or whatever, This product, there's only 5 of them left. Get them now. Oh my God, no, I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna miss this great opportunity. And that affects us somehow. Yes, even with people, if we see someone that we believe is awesome and amazing, what could we say? Oh my God, I'm never gonna meet someone like this guy or this girl. And that scarcity just creates value in our eyes. So that is why I believe we should be polishing. That's another type of advice, whatever. Just know that scarcity creates value, even if it's not real, On a website, you could just slap a tag saying there's 5 of them left when you truly got 2,000 in your warehouse or whatever. So just be careful with that and don't get deluded into buying just because there's 5 left. Know that the scarcity is a really strong pull on yourself and your psyche. That is amazing. And of course, we've got some contrasting examples where people really persuasive, people like con artists, mix all of these principles. Why? Because it's they could be good looking and charming and persuasive, and they know these principles and try to lure us into doing stuff that we wouldn't really want to do. I don't know if you've felt it. It's happened to me sometimes. I get this gut feeling, why did I do that? Why did I act that way? I should have known better. Well, don't flog yourself, man. We're human. And these great shortcuts help us navigate life, but they could sometimes fail, just like a compass. It's just a matter of giving him a little maintenance and keeping them on point. So this is why I believe you should read this book anywhere. And I don't mean to say that all these principles are evil or whatever. No, they're just the facts of life. If you know the rules of some games, you can play them better and not necessarily cheat. It's against the cheaters that try to manipulate in a bad manner that we should be wary of. But whatever. This book is amazing. You should try it out. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'm Lex. If you like this, subscribe to the channel. I love you, man. Bye-bye.